Hello, world. It's Alicia Bradford on my I Am Valuable YouTube channel. I'd like to thank you for those who are following my journey and for those who are yet to discover it. I wanted to talk a little bit about the class that I'm attending and the experiences that I've had this week on Monday. I go to this, I'm in this educational system. It's called Power 90, and it's run by a company called Outlook Development, and I've explained it a little bit in some of my previous episodes, but basically they give you these skills on how to retrain your mind to give up negative beliefs and to be, have a choice about how you feel and what you do and the life that you lead and live. And so Power 90 takes those kind of steps, and they put them all together to teach you how to achieve the goals and dreams and passions of your life. So at the beginning, they all told us to pick this outrageous goal. And of course, as I've already said, my goal was to be on the Ellen Show. But I can't control if Ellen wants me on her show or not. That's not within my control. So then it's like setting myself up to either succeed and achieve all that I want to achieve, or possibly not, because that last piece, I can do everything right up until that last moment, and then if Ellen just decides that it's not for her, then that kind of eliminates achieving my goal. So I've been kind of stuck with it, but I didn't want to just give up on that, because it isn't about being on Ellen, which I have to say would just be amazing, period, but it's the journey on getting to Ellen that I was really wanting to capture in my goal, but I couldn't figure out how to word it. I couldn't figure out how to verbalize it and vocalize it, and so I struggled. And so on Monday, we went to our class, and beforehand, I probably had the roughest couple of hours right before my class, and it put me in this really bad negative mind space. And luckily, I carpool with a lady that relies on me to get her there, so that was my first objective, was okay, I have to go because my friend needs a ride. But then I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to sit in the back. I'm just going to sit there, and because I don't know if it's worth the fight right now. But anyway, and if anybody knows me, they know that I don't sit in the back very well. So I had decided that, and I got there, and I sat in the back, and then my facilitator, Doug Castillo, said, Alicia, come up here, and he kind of invited me into the front, and then he basically asked me about the fire walk on Friday and asked for my experience, and basically all my emotions just came flooding out, and I remembered why I was in the class. Monday before the class, I was believing that the people around me, my husband, my kids, my friends, they all needed me to be perfect, especially my husband, and I love him dearly, but it is an expense to go to this class. It costs money, and so that money comes out of our pocket. It comes out of our other bills, but I made the choice that I was important and I needed to work on me, and so he wants to see results. And while I've had great successes, I've also had great failures. It's really hard to change who you are, especially when you fought your entire life against being who you are and just not working on it. So I really just kind of went Monday evening with the thought of, this isn't going to work for me because I'm not perfect yet. And the thing is I have to give myself time, and I have to allow myself those moments to fall, but it's picking myself back up that's really important. There's a quote, and I don't remember it word by word, but basically Michael Jordan talks about how many throws he misses, how many baskets he missed, how many games he's lost, but he says, I've lost all these things, and that's why I'm a success. And that's what I need to think about, how I need to think about myself, is that through all my failures, they're just practices for when I get it right. And that's always hard for me, because I feel like I have to get it right the first time or it's not worth doing, which puts an immense amount of pressure on me to succeed like all the time and to be perfect. And No one can ever live up to that expectation. So anyway, I go into the class, I'm shut down, I'm shut off, and basically Doug pulled me in and lit my fire again, and we met our coaches, and Michelle Archibald is an amazing woman that I have looked up to ever since Power of Choice, and she's my coach, and she sat with me one-on-one to really discuss my goal, because we need to have a finalized goal by next week. So we were kind of going over things, and I had this huge breakthrough that was just powerful for me. I started crying, like bawling, crying, and she just held me and laughed and smiled and said, "This is it." So basically, I've had a desire, a passion, a goal, a dream to be a motivational speaker pretty much my entire life, and I've never acknowledged it even to myself. I always thought it was really so out of the realm of possibilities for myself. Who would want to, listen to me, this fat little short little girl who talks too much? And so through this process of figuring out what my goal should be, I realized that I do have something to say, and there's things that I'm passionate about that I want to share with the world. So here's my goal, world, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So my goal is to prepare and deliver a speech either on Ellen or at some other event. So my goal is to have this speech prepared to deliver in a motivational speaker arena in 90 days. So my goal is that my awesome friends and family and strangers out there will hear this message and connect with what I'm talking about and what I'm going through, and together our voices will raise up and we will reach out to Ellen, and that I can deliver that speech and I can deliver my message on Ellen. I know a friend of mine, when she found out that I was going on Ellen, and she did not mean this in any offense, but basically she said to me, "Alicia, I've been watching Ellen this last week, and I was thinking about you, but I was noticing that most of the people that weren't movie stars or celebrities, had their own nonprofits, and they had all these things." And she asked me very bluntly, "Well, what's so special about you that you would get on Ellen?" And my first reaction was, I took it offensively. I took it like she was calling me not special, but I stopped that negative belief and I said, "No, what is she saying?" And she was seriously inquiring what I would share on Ellen, what would be the point of going on Ellen. And at that moment I said, I am special. I don't have a nonprofit, but I have a passion for adopting from foster care. I adopted my now almost 16-year-olds 2 years ago, and it changed my family's life. I work with disabled adults, and I have an adult living with me who requires daily care and support, and those things in my life fulfill me. And there's a lot of voids in both of those areas where they can be filled by the community and by the world. So it really got me kind of fired up. That happened right on the ride down on Monday, so it kind of got me fired up, kind of got me thinking, not fired up like mad, but just kind of got me, my wheels moving and, thinking about, well, why? Why would I want to be on Ellen? Other than the fact that Ellen is just awesome and you can dance and just have a great time, but I really feel like the message that I have, Ellen would be very interested to hear. She would be very interested to share. And my message is valuable to myself, to my family, to my loved ones, to my friends, to strangers. And that's pretty powerful, and it's pretty amazing. So that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I am going to shoot for Ellen, but because I can't control Ellen, and I don't think anybody can, although Portia gives it a good run for her money, I think because I can't control Ellen and I can't control what that dynamic looks like for me, I can keep that as my goal, but prepare myself for another option, which is going to be just as amazing. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited to find out who Alicia is in this journey and find out how strong I really am and how many times I can lose or I can fail and still get back up and try. And I'm still learning, and I'm grateful for that opportunity, that this is just practice. And through practice, we get better. Perfection doesn't come out of a box. Although sometimes we like to think so, or we like to try and think so. Like, we have that expectation in our minds that we have to be perfect, even though there's no way to attain that. So I'm super stoked, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my message, and I look forward to the journey. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.